are small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Our God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Yeah, every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God.
Hey guys, welcome to KidJAM. Good to see you today. And it's Halloween weekend, so this is on Halloween when this is being aired. So hope you have a fun night. If you trick or treat, if you don't, that's cool too. But whatever you do, hope it's a great night and maybe there'll be some candy involved. Hope you enjoyed your fall festival baskets. And there was definitely some candy in there. Hope you enjoyed that as well. And your little plush pumpkins. Hope you've been like killing each other with those because those are just super fun. I think we should get some of those for dodgeball in kids' space whenever we get to play dodgeball again, right? I think those plush pumpkins would be pretty fun. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of looking forward to checking out what our last fruit of the Spirit is. Do you know what it is? We've got, say it with me, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. How perfect that it would fall on Halloween when we have all this tempting candy around. Anyway, let's go to Somerset Fruit Stand and see what's going on there today.
God, there he is. He's always grouchy, always having a bad day. Help me to have self-control. Help me to be kind and good to him, even if he is mean and nasty to me. Amen. Hello, Jay.
Hello, Leo. Welcome to Somerset Fruit Stand. Did you find everything?
Yes, I did.
Oh, look, apples. You know what they say? An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That'll be $5, please.
Okay. Hey, Jay, don't take this the wrong way, but are you feeling okay?
Huh? Me? I'm feeling just fine. And you?
I'm fine. Just a little puzzled.
Let me guess, you're wondering why I'm not rolling my eyes and sighing and being grumpy and calling you names like Fruit of the Spirit guy and that weirdo with the Bible lessons.
Wait, you call me that?
Not to your face.
I guess that's one thing.
And not anymore.
How come?
The fruits of the Spirit. I finally read up on them and asked God to give them to me. And guess what?
He did?
He did! Now I have the fruits of the Spirit you've told me about. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness. And I have one more.
Self-control?
Yes! Self-control. It helps me to do the right thing. Instead of sighing and rolling my eyes, I can smile and say hello.
You don't have to tell me that. Self-control has helped me to be kind and gentle and loving and all those things to you in return.
That's so funny. You mean you've been relying on the fruit of the Spirit all this time?
Of course.
Because I was a big pain in the neck?
A big pain in the neck.
Oh, Leo. I'm sorry I was so mean to you. But I am thankful you shared the fruits of the Spirit with me.
And I'm glad you learned them, even without me. I was really at a loss of how to teach you self-control with a bunch of apples.
People think an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but if we have the self-control to eat a balanced diet and say no to sweets, we'll stay healthy. In the same way, self-control keeps our spirit healthy so the fruits of the Spirit can grow.
Wow.
How do you like them apples?
I'm appled, but I didn't think of it first. Get it? Appled, like appalled.
My joke was better.
Yeah, it was way better. But thanks for the fruit.
No. Thank you for the fruit. It's changed my life.
You know what? It's changed mine too.
You know, I think I've given up on that whole dream job of mine.
To work at Chuck E. Cheese?
I've decided that I found my dream job here, making people smile every day by saying hello to them.
Wow. Well, I hope the fruits of the Spirit keep growing.
Same to you.
Well, have a good day, Jay.
You too, Leo.
See ya.
See ya.
These are the fruits of the Spirit. Love. Always caring for others. Joy. Praising God and always finding the good in every situation. Peace. To be complete and find security with who God made you to be. Patience. Remaining calm through trials and troubles and not reacting with anger. Kindness. Showing yourself friendly, considerate, and generous. Goodness, to avoid evil and choose what is right and good. Faithfulness, to fully put your trust in God and stick with Him. Gentleness, being delicate and careful, not harsh and severe. Self-control, being able to keep your emotions, mind, and body in check. These fruits are gifts from God, and when you put them all together, they can make a really awesome life.
Hey guys, well, welcome back. I've enjoyed our Somerset fruit stand skits. Big shout out to Clay and Colton and Nora for helping us out as well for this series. Well, as we continue on, we're going to be looking at one of my favorite characters in the Bible. He's an amazing person for us to look up to, a very faithful person to God, and who lived an amazing life in the Old Testament. Let's see if you can figure out who it is. He and his friends were taken captive by King Nebuchadnezzar, and they were going to be in training for 3 years to become servants in the king's palace. They are very intelligent and very sharp and very smart young men, and they were of royal birth. These men also were Jewish, of course, and they did not want to eat the king's food. Anybody know who that is? And they ate vegetables and had water for 10 days. Anybody remember this story? About Daniel. So we're going to be talking about Daniel today. So this is a really cool story that we'll be talking about. So today, like we said, this is the last of our series of the fruit of the Spirit, and we've come to one that's probably one of the hardest ones in the whole bunch. Everybody likes to talk about love and peace and kindness and gentleness. Patience is kind of a little hard, I think, though. I don't know about you, but I find it hard to be patient sometimes. And self-control is another one that can be very difficult for us, too. So we can be thinking about what is self-control actually? I mean, what does that mean? Self-control actually means to tell ourselves no. For instance, you're at Thanksgiving, that's just around the corner, and all your aunts have made gorgeous desserts. And instead of getting like 10 desserts, you choose one. And that is practicing self-control. Maybe it's food is just one of those things that's an easy example, but it could be other things too. But for instance, you're going to get a lot of Halloween candy, right? You have a lot of candy in the house. And instead of eating candy for breakfast, you're going to eat like oatmeal or something healthy or a cereal or something good, right? Not junk food. So making good choices instead of making one that's not healthy for you, like if we're talking about food. So self-control is the ability to say no to ourselves and helping us make good choices for ourselves. Self-control isn't just about eating right and making healthy lifestyle choices, and those things are very important, but it's also about keeping a healthy spiritual life. We need self-control to help us to say no to sin. And as we talked before, sin is anything that separates us from God, that doesn't honor God. So today we're going to talk about this group of guys who had incredible self-control. And their self-control allowed them to say no to sin and to the royal diet of the king, all in one swoop. And their example made a big difference in the lives of others as well. Anyway, let's head into the book of Daniel. You'll see posted beside me here, Daniel chapter 1. This is in the Old Testament. So flip to Daniel chapter 1 if you like, or follow along or listen as I read for you. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. And that basically means he took it over. He took over the city of Jerusalem. And the Lord delivered Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the articles from the temple of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar carried off to the temple of his God in Babylonia and put in the treasure house of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court officials, to bring in some of the Israelites from the royal family and the nobility. Young men without any physical defect, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well-informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that, they were to enter the king's service. Among these were some from Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief official gave them new names. To Daniel, the name Belshazzar; to Hananiah, Shadrach; to Mishael, Meshach; and to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Now, God had caused the official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel. But the official told Daniel, "I'm afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king will then have my head because of you." Daniel then said to the guard, whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, "Please, test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then compare our appearance with that of the young men who eat the royal food, and treat your servants in accordance with what you see." So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away their choice food and the wine they were to drink and gave them vegetables instead. To these 4 young men, God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning. And Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. At the end of the time set before the king, by the king to bring them in, the chief official presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them, and he found none equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered in the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king questioned them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters in his whole kingdom. And Daniel remained there until the first year of King Cyrus. So here we see these young men who are Jewish. And as you know, we've talked before that the Jewish people had very strict dietary laws. And so the Babylonian diet did not fit with their Jewish diet. And so they did not want to do anything to their bodies that God had asked them not to do. So Daniel and his friends made this bold request and asked not to eat the food from the king's table. So the official granted them that request and tested them for 10 days. And as you can see from what we just read, they looked healthier, they were sharp, they were wise, 10 times better than the royal, those that were eating the royal food from the king's table. So at the end of that trial period, God showed Nebuchadnezzar that these young men who followed him were granted great wisdom and knowledge because of God, that God had supplied them with all that. And Daniel and his friends practiced self-control. The king's food was tempting, it was lavish. But the most important thing for Daniel wasn't about the food, it was about being obedient to what God had called him to do. Daniel and his friends practiced self-control. They said no to themselves and no to the Babylonian ways because they did not want to be taken away or swept up into something that might take them away from the God that they loved and served. You know, when we began this series, we talked a lot about how a tree, what it takes for a tree to yield fruit. We know that it needs good soil, right? And sunshine and water and good care. And a plant well nourished will produce a huge crop of fruit. And the seed from those fruits also can help produce more trees and more crops down the road. Self-control is what we need to keep the soil of our lives healthy spiritually. Just as a healthy diet keeps our bodies in good shape, the good soil we create by saying no to sin and by being faithful to God will cause the fruits of the Spirit to grow in our lives. You know, I always think of athletes, right? And when I was dancing, I had a very strict diet. I was very careful with what I ate. I ate lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of water, did not eat a lot of sweets or anything. I was very, very careful about what I ate because I knew that what I put in my body, good foods, helped fuel it and give me the energy that I needed to perform. An athlete knows that he can't live on a diet of junk food. He can't live on chips and fast food and stuff and candy. He knows he needs good, healthy food, a well-balanced diet, so his body is healthy and that it can perform like it's supposed to, and also can heal well when it gets injured. So a healthy diet helps you do the things that you need to. Just like when we're healthy with God, when we feed our spirit on His Word, and when we spend time in prayer, when we worship together, and when we pray together as families, it helps feed our soul. It helps make it healthy so that we can say no and recognize things that are not good for us. You know, the fruits of the Spirit show us how we can be more like Jesus. And I know you all well enough out there. And one of our favorite songs is, I Want to Be Like Jesus. And you all sing your lungs out on that song. I love that. But I know for you and for me, that is our desire. We want to live like Jesus. And I know you guys want to show those fruits of the Spirit in your life to those around you, whether it's your family or at school or friends, wherever that's at. We want to show love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and yes, even self-control to those around us. You know, this week, let's ask God to give us some self-control. Let's have self-control over the things in our life that are sins, as well as other areas of our lives. Let's ask God to make us a witness to others as we say no to sin and yes to living God's way. That's what Daniel and his friends did. They said yes to God and chose to live his way, even at times when it could have been very scary. And we see some other times in the book of Daniel, like the fiery furnace, when they said no to the king and his ways and said yes to God, when they could have lost their lives, but God spared them in that fiery furnace. So God is with us. He wants us to follow him. He loves us. The fruits of the Spirit not only help us, but also are a blessing to those around us when we share them. It's kind of like planting a little seed of love or kindness or gentleness or self-control into someone else's life and letting them develop it and grow in Jesus, and then sharing that seed with someone else so that we can look more like him. So this week, think about how you can show the practice of self-control to those around you. Maybe it's by controlling your speech. Maybe it's not eating all the Halloween candy, whatever that may be. So anyway, this has been a good series. I know it has been for me. I hope it has been for you. And let's keep working on those fruits of the Spirit and let God do amazing things through our lives to those around us. All right, well, hey, check out this next part.
Grace, you have been saved through faith, and this not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. It is the gift of God. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. It is the gift of God. Yourselves. It is the gift of God. It is the gift of God. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da. Oh, not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. It is the gift of God. La-di-da. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and it's not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. It is the gift of God. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and it's not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. It is the gift of God. La-di-da, la-di-da. Oh, not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. It is the gift of God. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da. Oh,
Welcome back. So since this week is Halloween, let's practice a little self-control on that candy and treats, right? So I hope you all have a great Halloween, and also that you have a good, safe time, whether it's staying at home or if you're actually going out and visiting some homes. And let's remember to be like Daniel this week. Can you think of one thing that you could ask God to give you self-control over? Maybe it's not eating all the Halloween candy. Or perhaps it's controlling the things that come out of your mouth. Maybe being kinder to your brother or sister. Or not being so sassy to your mom when she asks you to do something. So maybe it's getting up when your mom calls you for school. Getting up and getting out and getting ready to go on time. Maybe it's getting that homework done early and not waiting to the last minute to get it done. So ask God to help you with something that might be hard for you, to practice a little self-control. So check out our Daniel quiz at the end of this, and then we have a song following. Have a wonderful weekend. Love you guys.
Self control. His love